I just start questioning things that I believe in and why me. You know, I didn't understand, like, was it something that I did wrong? Like, why? I blamed myself.
Deadly triple shooting claims the life of a 17-year-old girl. Family members telling us she was a niece of Miami rapper Trina.
At 46, Trina just revealed what we all feared. And it's the kind of pain you can't fake or hide. This isn't just a rapper sharing her truth. This is a woman who's been quietly drowning in grief for years.
They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo.
From losing her brother in a shooting to watching her mother battle cancer to the shocking death of her 17-year-old niece, Trina's life has been scarred by tragedy after tragedy.
Now, it's two sides of me. It's this side that's this polished side, but then I'm from Liberty City, Miami, Florida.
God damn it, you get the key to Liberty City too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And just when you think it couldn't get worse, she opens up about a miscarriage during her rise to fame, crying alone in hotel rooms, then wiping her tears to perform. Her latest confession? It's the weight of all of it. And now, she's finally saying it out loud.
You stay tonight, you can't even look in your face without wanting to slap you. Damn, I thank God I ain't get that tattoo.
Trina, the famous rapper from Miami, has been through a lot of pain in her life. She lost her brother, her mother, and later, her niece. These were not just small losses. They were deep, life-changing moments. Trina shared her story with the public, so others who are hurting might find strength in her journey. Though she's been in the spotlight for years, many people don't know the full story of her personal pain. Even when she smiled in photos or performed on stage, inside she was dealing with a broken heart. Her life behind the scenes was filled with sadness, but she is slowly finding her way back to peace. Back in April 2013, something terrible happened. Trina's brother, Wilbrent Gronk Bain, was shot and killed in Miami. The shooting happened around 9:30 in the morning. According to police, he got into a fight with a man who was riding a bicycle. The argument quickly turned deadly. Gronk was shot on 91st Street and 24th Avenue. This area was familiar to them, as they had grown up in that part of the city. Trina and her family were shocked and heartbroken. Losing someone in such a violent way is hard to understand, especially when it's your own brother.
The loss of my brother is when life went dark for me. And like, to the world, I just start questioning things that I believe in and why me. You know, I didn't understand, like, was it something that I did wrong? Like, why? I blamed myself.
Gronk wasn't a stranger to danger. In 2008, he had already survived another shooting. He had also been in trouble with the law before, with arrests for things like domestic violence, burglary, and carrying a gun. Still, he was Trina's brother. No matter what mistakes he made, she loved him. When he died, it broke a part of her spirit. Just one day after the shooting, police arrested a man named Ron Dobson. He was 27 years old and admitted to the crime after police read him his rights. Knowing who did it didn't make the pain go away. The hurt was still there, and for Trina, life started to feel very dark.
Happy, smiling, just keep pushing, but for me, since 2013, my life was dark until now. Since 2013, when I lost my brother, I just felt so disconnected.
The sadness didn't stop with her brother's death. 6 years later, in September 2019, Trina's mother passed away. Her mom's name was Vernessa Nessa Taylor. She was 62 years old and had been fighting cancer. Trina loved her mother deeply.
I'm not that strong. I just started breaking down, losing myself. I don't understand, how do you live without your mom?
She was not just a mom. She was her best friend, her comfort, and her #1 supporter. When her mom died, Trina said she felt like she was all alone in the world. Even though she had other family members like her sisters and cousins, it wasn't the same. Losing a mother is a different kind of pain, and for Trina, the world didn't feel safe anymore.
My mom is the person I call every second of the day to annoy her for every little thing I want. Whether I'm in a grocery store, whether it's Home Depot, and this person is no longer here.
In the emotional interview on the Tamron Hall show, Trina opened up about how much the loss of her brother and mom changed her. Every day felt like a battle. She felt disconnected from everything and everyone. She even said there were moments when she didn't want to keep living. That's how deep the pain went. Then, in 2019, just when she was trying to hold herself together, her mom died too. That pushed her even deeper into sadness.
I felt if my back was against the wall, my mom was always there. She's never not been there for me. And
you're not alone.
When she wasn't here, I just felt alone in the world.
She talked about how hard it is to live without her mother. Trina would call her mom all the time, even just to talk about little things. Her mom always answered, always listened. After her mom was gone, the silence felt too loud. Trina said, "There's no time limit for grief." She doesn't think she'll ever fully heal or feel complete again. Some days are better than others, but the hole left by her mom's death will always be there. That's how deep the love was. And when you love someone that much, losing them leaves a scar that never goes away. In 2023, Trina took part in the NPR Tiny Desk concert series. It was a small, special show where artists perform live in an intimate space. During her performance, Trina paid tribute to her late mother. She started her set by dedicating her first song to her. The song was called Mama, and it was filled with love and emotion.
This first song is dedicated to my mom. Without her, there would be no me. And she's the reason I'm standing here right now for you guys. So I want you to just enjoy.
Before singing, she told the audience that without her mom, she wouldn't be where she is today. She said her mom was the reason she's strong enough to keep going. As she sang, it was clear she was not just performing. She was sharing her heart with the world. At the end of the song, Trina spoke to anyone who had lost someone they loved. She said this song was for them too. Losing a loved one is something many people go through, and she wanted to let them know they're not alone. Trina used her music as a way to cope and heal, and she hoped it could help others do the same. It was a moment of truth, pain, and beauty all rolled into one. Her strength came through even as her voice shook with emotion. It was her way of saying, "I'm still here. I'm still standing." Sadly, just when Trina and her family were trying to move forward, tragedy hit again. Her 16-year-old niece, known as Suga, was shot and killed in Liberty City.
Deadly triple shooting claims the life of a 17-year-old girl, family members telling us she was a niece of Miami rapper Trina.
This area is not far from where her brother Gronk was murdered. It happened less than 10 blocks away. Suga was out with friends and getting ready to start her final year of high school. She had her whole life ahead of her. But that life was taken away in a flash. Police arrived and found her with a gunshot wound. She was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 other people were also shot, but they survived.
Now, there were 2 other people at the scene who were also shot. They're here at JMH. We're told they're still recovering.
This was another huge blow to Trina's heart. Losing one family member to gun violence is already too much, but now she had lost 2, her brother and her niece, in almost the same place. Even in the middle of all this heartbreak, Trina has found moments of joy. On May 22nd, she married Benjamin Leon Kearse Jr., also known as Swerve. The wedding took place in Miramar, Florida. It was a happy moment in a life filled with sadness. Being able to love again and be loved helped her feel hope. Marriage doesn't erase pain, but it can bring comfort. Having someone to stand beside her makes the bad days a little easier. Trina's story shows that even when life brings deep sorrow, there can still be light in the dark. A long time ago, during the early 2000s, Trina also went through another hard time. She was dating rapper Lil Wayne back then. During their relationship, she became pregnant, but sadly had a miscarriage.
I felt like a failure, something I never thought I'd feel, and I hated it. Only someone who has physically experienced the loss of pregnancy will understand the sense of emptiness that overcomes you.
That means she lost the baby before it was born. Trina said this was one of the hardest things she had ever faced. She would cry in her hotel room, on the tour bus, or backstage before shows. But when it was time to perform, she had to wipe her tears and go on stage like everything was okay. It was a lonely and painful time for her.
The miscarriage, that was something I didn't really never speak about, like even to my friends, maybe 2 people knew.
Even though they were young and didn't fully understand what they were doing in the relationship, Trina says Lil Wayne was never bad to her. She still respects him a lot. Today, they have a good friendship. In fact, they recently worked on a song together. Trina said she asked him to be on the track, and he sent his part back on her birthday. That meant a lot to her. The song is strong, full of energy, and shows their talent and respect for each other. It shows that time really can help heal old wounds, and sometimes people can come back together in a good way. In June 2020, Trina said something during a radio show that made many people very upset. The country was already in a lot of pain and anger after the death of George Floyd, a black man killed by a white police officer.
There have been violent scenes across the United States in response to the death of a black man, George Floyd, in police custody. Protesters have broken an overnight curfew in Minneapolis after several nights of unrest.
Protests were happening all over the United States. Many people were marching in the streets, asking for justice and equal treatment. But Trina, while talking on the radio, called the people on the streets animals and said they acted like they escaped from a zoo. She was talking about the looting and destruction that happened during some protests in Miami.
Trina is facing a lot of backlash right now after referring to protesters in Miami as animals. Mind you, she did this on her morning show.
She made these comments on the Trick and Trina morning show, which she co-hosts with fellow rapper Trick Daddy. Trina said the city should have a strict curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. She said, keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets. She also said the police should lock people up at 5 p.m. so the streets would be nice and clean.
They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo.
These words made many listeners angry, especially because the protests were mostly peaceful and were about police violence toward black people. Trick Daddy, her co-host, tried to calm things down. He asked Trina what the protests and violence had to do with George Floyd's death. He tried to explain that some people were angry, broke, and stuck at home because of the COVID-19 pandemic. He said that's why some protests turned into looting. But Trina didn't agree. She said she had also been on lockdown and didn't behave like that. She then brought up a personal story about a friend's restaurant that was damaged. She said Trick Daddy would not want his restaurant damaged either. She said people have insurance, but that doesn't make it okay to break things. Trick tried to bring the conversation back to the Black Lives Matter movement, but Trina kept going. She brought up how her younger brother was killed by another black man. She asked if those black lives matter too. She said, "A life is a life." She repeated this point many times, saying it didn't matter how a life was lost, by police, by car accident, or by another black man. She said every life is important. Then she spoke about Derek Chauvin, the white police officer who killed George Floyd. Trina said if people really want justice, they should ask for the death penalty for him.
It looks like Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is upgrading Derek Chauvin's charges to second-degree murder. Now,
she felt like the protests and damage in the streets didn't make sense unless people were asking for a serious punishment for Chauvin. She also said she didn't believe everyone was being honest about caring for George Floyd. She called some of them fake and said they didn't really care and weren't even marching. At the end of the radio segment, Trick Daddy said that black people should not be afraid of the police. But Trina responded by saying she is not afraid. She said she always carries her license, registration, and insurance. She said she knows her rights and is not scared. She sounded like she didn't think police would harm her as long as she had the proper papers. After the show aired, many people on Twitter and other social media platforms reacted strongly. They were angry and shocked. People accused Trina of being out of touch with what was happening in the world. Some said she had forgotten where she came from. Others said she should be canceled, meaning fans should stop supporting her and she should lose her platform. Trina later tried to explain her words. She said she wasn't talking about the peaceful protesters. She said she wasn't calling black people animals. She said she was only talking about the people who were destroying things and looting stores.
They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo.
She said she didn't mean to talk about everyone on the streets, only those who were breaking the law. On another radio show later that week, Trina said, "I'm not going to say black people are animals. I didn't say all of my people. I'm not talking to the protesters, those that are trying to make change." She also said she had learned more about the situation after speaking with a city leader. She said she was trying to understand the bigger picture and find a solution. She wanted people to know she didn't mean to insult the whole black community. Trina also said she was not really upset about the damage to property. Even though she had mentioned a restaurant earlier, she said she was more upset by what she saw on the streets. She said she was not talking about color or race, and she would never call black people animals. She reminded people that she is black herself. Still, many fans were not happy with her words. They felt her tone was harsh and didn't show understanding of what people were going through. They wanted her to be more careful and more supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement. Some fans said she could have made her point without using such harmful words. They expected better from someone like Trina, who has always been proud of her background and culture. This wasn't the first time Trina made headlines for saying something controversial. Back in 2011, she was upset with the BEAT Awards. When the nominations were announced, Trina was not listed for Best Female Hip Hop Artist. She went on Twitter and wrote, F***CK bet. Many people saw this and started talking about it. The BET president later explained that Trina didn't submit a music video during the right time. Because of that, she wasn't eligible for the award. But Trina didn't agree. She felt she had done a lot that year. Her 2010 album, Amazin', did well.
Gossip's number one topic. The life of the rich and famous.
It was number 2 on the rap albums chart, and it had 2 singles that made it on the Billboard charts. She also appeared on songs with other artists like Carrie Hilson and Jagged Edge. Trina wasn't mad at the other women who were nominated. In fact, she congratulated one of them, Diamond, and said she was proud of her. Trina's problem wasn't with the other artists. Her problem was with the BET network. She felt they didn't respect or recognize her work. She believed she should have been nominated based on her success. Even Nicki Minaj, who was nominated, spoke up. Nicki made a joke about the nominations on Twitter. She said it felt like April Fool's Day because Trina's name wasn't there. Trina and Khia are both female rappers who have been in the music game for a long time. But instead of supporting each other as women in a tough industry, they've been at odds for years. This feud didn't just start recently, it goes way back. Khia, known for her hit song My Neck, My Back,
My neck, my back, lick my and my neck,
has been throwing shade at Trina for years. She often speaks about Trina on her YouTube show, Gag Order.
We the People versus Akbar, Loose Knee V. Akbar, you are being charged with having a nervous breakdown on social media, then deleting it. Talking bad about another bitch's child when you can't talk good about yours because you don't have them.
Where she talks badly about many celebrities. Trina, on the other hand, usually doesn't reply. She says she doesn't need to respond to someone she sees as beneath her. When asked about Khia in interviews, Trina always keeps it classy, saying she doesn't step off her throne to address no bum. That's her way of saying she won't waste her time on people who try to bring her down. Khia hasn't always stayed quiet, though. Over the years, she's taken her shots at Trina through social media, videos, and interviews. She once even challenged Trina to a live music battle like what other artists were doing on Instagram during the pandemic. But when Trina was asked about it on Drink Champs, she didn't even say Khia's name. Still, it was very clear who she was talking about. Trina said she would be open to a battle with any artist, but she had no interest in giving attention to someone who has shown her nothing but disrespect.
But when it comes to this particular person, the level of disrespect is beyond. I don't know you.
Right.
If I don't know you, I'm not entertaining or feeding it to you. That's just me.
She made it clear that she didn't grow up with internet beefs. She grew up in the streets of Liberty City, Miami. And in the streets, people handle things differently.
Now, it's two sides of me. It's the side that's this polished side, but then I'm from Liberty City, Miami, Florida.
God damn it, you get the kid in Liberty City too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Trina explained that she likes to show love to other female rappers. If she likes someone, she'll support them. But if she doesn't like them, she simply ignores them. She doesn't feel the need to tear anyone down. But she also gave a strong warning. If she ever sees someone who has disrespected her in person, it could be a problem. She said she doesn't consider it real beef, but she also won't pretend like everything is okay. She called it on sight, which means if she sees that person face to face, she'll be ready to handle it, however it goes. But Khia wasn't done. She came back with some very ugly words. She accused Trina of having HIV, saying things that were cruel, disrespectful, and completely uncalled for. She mocked Trina for grieving the death of her ex-boyfriend and made disgusting remarks about her health. These kinds of comments shocked many people and made the feud even uglier. Khia didn't just stop at insults. She made it personal, attacking Trina's character, relationships, and health without any proof. Khia's insults were not only harsh but very dangerous, especially since they involved serious claims like HIV. Saying someone has a disease without any proof is not just wrong. It can hurt their career, mental health, and public image. Khia said Trina didn't own anything but HIV and HIV medications, which crossed a major line. These were not just insults, they were personal attacks meant to hurt deeply. It's one thing to have a rap battle, but it's another thing to speak about someone's health in such a nasty way.
Oh, 'cause I'm the baddest chick.
Aside from her feud with Khia, Trina has also faced other problems in her career. In 2013, she was sued for $50 million by a company called Omnipresent Media. They claimed she agreed to appear at a rap competition in Massachusetts, but didn't show up. They said she accepted part of her payment, but never attended the event or helped promote it. This caused a big mess for the company. They said the crowd became upset and started heckling the performers because Trina wasn't there. Omnipresent Media had already paid for her travel and hotel, so they were expecting her to show up. But when she didn't, they felt betrayed and filed a lawsuit. The event was meant to be a big deal, with the winner promised studio time, a record deal, and cash. But when Trina didn't come, the excitement faded and things fell apart. The company said they had trusted Trina and she let them down. They never said exactly how much money they gave her, but they made it clear she was paid something up front. Her no-show was seen as very unprofessional, and it gave people another reason to criticize her, on top of the drama she already had with Khia. Then, there was the controversy over one of Trina's songs called No Panties.
Ow.
This song came out in 2002 and had very sexual lyrics. Some people loved it, saying Trina was bold and confident. They liked that she didn't hold back and showed power as a woman. Others thought the song was too much and inappropriate for young listeners. Some critics called it tasteless and even dangerous for promoting such open talk about sex. Even though some media praised her for being daring, others felt she was being too extreme and setting a bad example. Still, No Panties became one of Trina's most talked about songs. Critics from XL Magazine and the Miami New Times said it was one of her best tracks. Even if people didn't like the lyrics, they had to admit the song got attention. It became a kind of anthem for her, showing her style, confident, fearless, and ready to say what she wanted. Whether people loved it or hated it, they remembered it. That alone shows how much impact the song had on her career. Another moment that brought controversy was in 2019 with the song Baps, a collaboration between Trina and Nicki Minaj. At first, fans were excited about the song, but then things got messy. Someone on Trina's team, her AANDR executive, accused Nicki Minaj of being rude and uncooperative. He said Nicki didn't want to shoot a music video for the song and called her a manipulator. This made fans think there was a problem between the two artists, but Trina quickly cleared things up. She went online and explained that Nicki had done nothing wrong. In fact, Trina said it was her own team's fault for not planning things properly. She had talked to Nicki for 45 minutes about business, and she said they were fine. Trina said the issue wasn't really about a missing video. It was about bigger business problems behind the scenes. She defended Nicki and told fans not to blame her. That moment showed that Trina can still handle drama with class, even when her own team creates confusion.